to the Kent Freedom Movement, and we've got a little video that's gone viral, and the video title is "Driving Without Insurance or Tax, Refusal to Give Samples Released Without Charge." Now we have the gentleman here today, who I'm pleased to say is a Kent Freedom Movement administrator, Dave Goins, and he's going to take us all the way through that video and just explain it, break it down for us bit by bit what actually happened on the night, because again, as we say, lots of people are asking questions, so here's David Goins to give us the answers. Well, thank you, Dave. Could you talk us through the events, the subsequent events before your arrest, and it went out on national TV. Could you talk us through the events of that evening before, prior and after your arrest for us, please, Dave?
Yeah, no problem. Basically, I've been to a White Rabbit seminar, studied Stratford for the day. On the way back, stopped, got McDonald's, and just basically about 10 metres from my house, the police decided to pull me over because apparently I had no tax insurance or MOT on my van. They came up to the van, he opened the door, told me that I've got no tax and insurance. I said to him, "Are you trying to claim legal jurisdiction over a man?" And at this point, as you don't see in the video, they just grabbed me straight away, grabbed my arm, which has just taken 4 years to heal, set my whole arm numb, and at that point I was a bit, angry, and obviously. So I just held onto the steering wheel and that, and they tried pulling me out of the van, and about 20 minutes later the other police officers turned up, and they had another go at pulling me out of the van. It's...
Is that where the video picks up, when that second officer comes?
Yeah.
That's
this had been going on for about 20 minutes beforehand. Yeah, then trying to get me out of the car. But
they didn't succeed. Well, they got you out
in the end, yeah.
Yeah, they got you out of the car. So, So what happened after then, Dave? Should we run the video?
Yeah.
Traffic unit was stopped a suspected uninsured driver in an untaxed van. The officers who stopped him think he's also been drinking.
So there was 20 minutes of
beforehand, at least beforehand, where they were trying to get me out of the van here, and then these officers turned up obviously with the camera, and that's when it all started getting filmed.
The suspect has he claims he was already injured, but it's not stopping him from putting up a fight.
And just for the record, Dave, can we just clarify that had you been drinking that evening?
I'd had a pint after the White Rabbit seminar.
So you was under the legal limit.
Yeah.
You hadn't, just so to clear for people, you're not drinking driving, you're not a menace to society, you wasn't drinking. Okay, that's brilliant, just to clarify that point.
I even told them that I'd had one.
You told the constable that you'd had one?
Well, I told the doctor when I was actually in the police station.
So you informed the doctor that you'd had one pint, yeah. Okay.
Eventually he's out, and the cuts go on. They arrest him for failing to provide a specimen of breath. They now need to get him to the police station and onto a breathalyzer.
Now I'm going to have to custody with the traffic officers and just make sure it doesn't happen anymore while he's down there.
Oh, when you plan up, Dave?
He's searched. Everything is empty from his pockets.
Is there anything you should add on yet?
Yeah, 2 police officers.
The man refuses to give the police a straight answer.
Right, David. He's saying the man refuses to give the police a straight answer. Could you just quickly talk, the viewers through what happened when you got in there, your thing, and why you would contract or not contract with the police?
Well, basically, I used a method called conditional acceptance. They are trying to get in contract with you. Well, there's got to be 2 beneficiaries in this contract. Well, I'm not benefiting anything out of them, so, I conditionally accept their offer to be arrested, sign all their stuff for a payment of £10 million. I've got to have something out of it. They've got to have something out of it. That's the way contracts work. It's beneficial for both. So basically, for every question that they were asking me, I was saying, I conditionally accept your offer on the receivement of a payment of £10 million. Then I'll gladly go into contract with you. Until that's paid, you get nothing.
So at no point were they willing to enter into your contract?
No. Well, the contract, like I say, you both make,
Yeah, make the contract.
contracts.
Yeah.
Well, that's my part of the contract. They're coming up giving me, that's the contract. Well, I'm allowed to change that contract to suit me as well.
Before you're willing to sign it?
Yeah, which is obvious. Why am I going to go into a contract which isn't going to benefit me?
Doesn't make any
Doesn't
sense
sense,
at all.
no.
So that's why, obviously the narrator doesn't know, but that's why they think you're playing up. You just won't contract with them.
Yeah.
That is the issue here. You will not contract with the police.
Yeah.
Okay? And we've already clarified you'd only had 1 drink, so you was sober. Right, David. Just for viewers who might be, you're saying there to the officers, and I think you're saying you will find everything you might claim of right. Just could you give the viewers what is your claim of right?
Well, your claim of right is basically things you agree to, things you don't agree to, and that's your kind of law. If you understand what
You're
I mean.
making your own law here. It's your own
laws.
contract of
Yeah.
your own, because there's
Yeah.
no injury, harm or loss, so anything else is just a contract,
Yeah.
and they're your contract rules.
And with obviously a fee schedule attached to that.
Should anybody wish to impinge
Yeah. Or go into contracts.
to go into contract with you, and your fee's £10 million.
Yeah.
Right. And you kept reiterating this to the police, so that way you don't have to give them any more information, just your claim of right.
Yeah. I do have 2 unrebutted claims of right at this particular police station, and I have a receipt to show. I haven't got that with me at the moment, but that's it.
So you'd already sent this station, they already had your claim of right,
They've
so
had
they
some-
knew
Yeah.
your contract laws,
Yeah.
and so should they impinge on them, that was your fee.
Yeah.
So all said and done,
Yeah.
you wasn't going to go into contract with them, even when you were arrested,
Yeah.
for supposedly no tax in your...
Well, they're giving up their half of the contract. Well, this is my half. These are my rules and regulations,
Yeah.
in a way. And the fee schedule, because no one does anything for nothing in this world.
Yeah.
They shouldn't do,
Yeah.
especially for work.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is.
Yeah, it is just work. Yeah, okay. So if we just move the video on along a bit.
Then he attempts to make a very strange deal with the officer.
Right, David. So you're telling the police officers there, here's my contract laws. I want £10 million.
Then we can go into contract if you want.
And then we can go into contract. But they didn't want a contract with you.
Well, they don't want to pay the £10 million, but they want a contract with me. But they don't want my half of the contract, you know.
So they're not being honourable.
Yeah, basically.
So they're in dishonour.
Yeah.
So why would you?
Yeah. Why would I want to be with them? Do business with them.
The cops are backing up. He's wearing tracksuit bottoms with a drawstring waist, and so for safety, they needed to change into custody clothes.
Can you just stop the video there, please? What they don't show on this video is this is probably the second time I've been brought out the cells. The first time I was handcuffed and they're trying to book me in, and basically I put the desk sergeant on his oath. He refused to go on his oath, so I arrested him for breach of oath and misconduct in the public office. I then turned round to the second police officer and asked him to arrest this police officer because obviously he was in breach. He refused. So I go round to the third police officer and, so, you know, carried on the same conversation. I expect you to arrest these two, you know, for breach of oath and misconduct in the public office. He refused. There was about 8 policemen standing around me at this time. I got round to about the fifth police officer, and they were all just standing there with their heads down, literally, because they knew I was in the right. Couldn't handle that, so they picked me up by my arms, and I've got about 6 of them holding me, and they've just picked me up and launched me head first straight into the cell, which you don't see there.
So that was subsequently before the part you see on this video.
They tried
to arrest. They tried to arrest you. They're not putting this on camera.
Yeah.
You put them on their oath of office. They refuse to do that. They know you're right. So then they basically just assaulted you by throwing you back into the cell. And then the cameraman has subsequently filmed this latter part of it without showing you that part.
Yeah.
So that was the bits that you don't see.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
He won't change himself, so the cops do it for him.
The guy on the video says he won't change himself, so the cops do it for him. Why shouldn't you? Is that a benefit if you agree to take any of their clothes there? Why are they doing that to you, David?
Well, partly to try and humiliate you, but that obviously doesn't work with me. They're trying to get you to receive a benefit of them. Even taking a cup of tea, a drink of water, wearing their clothes is a benefit. Well, I'm not here for benefits or privileges. I've got my rights at the end of the day. So
You've got your right. So if you do, should you find yourself in this uncomfortable position, what you should do is not accept nothing of the police. Nothing whatsoever. Anything could be deemed as a benefit.
Yeah. The only thing, you know, may go and see the doctor, you know, if you picked up an injury, go in, get that recorded.
If you're injured in the police station,
go and see the doctor.
Even the police doctor?
Yeah, you go and see the police doctor, make sure that goes down on record. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not contracting with them, you're seeing a doctor, as far as I'm concerned, which you have a right to do at any time.
So you're okay getting medical assistance, but you just don't want to accept any of their terms, conditions, any of their benefits. You don't accept any of those. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant.
The man was later released without charge.
Right.
Oh, that's very interesting. After all that excitement, it says the man was later released without charge. Could you talk us through that, please, Dave?
Basically, after 10 hours, I had to get back home to get to my animals, and I thought, right, I've learnt a little something at the White Rabbit seminar that day of how to sign their documents null and void. So I told them I accept that they now owe me £10 million because I'm now going to sign their documents. They've agreed to that. I've then signed their documents null and void, and they have gave me a court appearance as well, which I signed null and void, which I have got the documents here.
Yeah, if you could just say that.
These are the charge sheets. Failing to provide specimen for analysis, using a motor vehicle without third-party insurance, and use of a motor without test certificate. They didn't like it when I brought up certain subjects that I've actually heard that no police car on the road is actually insured. They have a thing which is called self-bonding insurance. So they only pay out when they have an accident. At all other times they're not insured.
So the police themselves are arresting people for having no insurance when themselves they're not insured, they've got self-funded insurance.
Which is not a full-time insurance.
Right, that's interesting.
I have also got here information notice for the defendant about going to court. As you can see, this has been signed. You put 3 dots, you then put your signature, you then put another 3 dots. You could either put AR or agent at the end. You can put it in square brackets. But these dots mean that there was something that you wanted to say, but you were under threat for your life. So these dots mean that you can go back at a later stage and put these words into play. So that could mean, right, that could mean the 10 million.
Yeah.
When you do an administrative process on them. So, that can be anything. You can change them dots into anything you want.
So when you sign your name, you put 3 dots before it, signature, 3 dots. It means you can come back, add before or after your signature, and that's legally enforceable.
Yeah, I mean, they've even put in the police statement here, Goins is requesting he's given £10 million to enter into agreement, then he would obviously give all the samples and sign their documents. But as far as I'm concerned, I've now signed your documents and we are in contract.
So according to your terms and conditions of the contract, they owe you £10 million.
Well, yeah, really.
Talk the end part there, David, when they say he was later released without charge. So what happened then regarding your van, yourself? How did it end, David?
Yeah. Well, basically, they didn't take my van away from me. That was still parked outside my house, unlocked when I got back. Obviously, I had a court appearance, so I've gone to court. They've asked me if I'm David Goins, so I said I'm his agent, basically. And they kept saying, "Are you that person?" And I said, "No, I'm his agent. Do you understand?" Saying that to the prosecutor. She then turns around and said, "Right, we're now putting a not guilty plea in for you, and you'll be going to trial." And I said, "For and on the record, the prosecutor is now the defendant of the case. She takes all liabilities." They then gave me another court date, and I basically turned around and asked for the case management files, which every court case has. In one particular section of that case management files, there's like a declaration box which you must sign for you to go, basically to be sent to prison or, get charged or whatever.
So that has to be signed. The case management files have to be signed. And you were saying to me, David, only 2 people can sign it.
Right. In that declaration box, it should either be signed by you or your solicitor. That's something your solicitor never tells you. So basically, anyone that's representing themselves in court ends up in prison. Their signature's being frauded on these documents, so they can send you to prison or go ahead with the case.
So that's a fundamental thing here. So without the case management files being signaturised, being authorised either by the solicitor or yourself, there's no reason you should be going to prison. The only way you could be in there is them to fraudulently sign it for you or your solicitor.
Yeah.
So if you're representing yourself, you haven't got a solicitor obviously, and then you would have to sign them themselves, otherwise they can't continue the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, you know, any agreement needs both people's signatures on there to go ahead. Well, where's your signature on there?
So you asked, just to reiterate, so you asked for the case management files. What happened there, David?
The court went completely quiet, and they tried to give me a blank copy, and basically I just laughed at them and I walked out the court. I was supposed to go back again, obviously, for that other court date. I thought, well, I'll go, you know, you can't refuse court.
Yeah.
Just getting ready, next thing the letter's been posted through my door. I thought, oh, that's a bit strange, that's from Huntington Crown Court. And I opened it, and lo and behold, I've got a letter from them.
Yeah.
From the CPS.
Take photos of that.
Yeah. Well, basically, this, you know, I've scrubbed my name, well, my address out, but it's a notice of discontinuance. I am writing to inform you that I have today sent a notice to the Justice Chief Executive under Section 23 of the Prosecutions Offence 1985, discontinuing the following charges against you, client. Against you, client. I mean,
who that is, we don't know.
No. So, as you can see, these were the three charges.
Yeah, there's your three charges that he was there. They're the three charges that have subsequently been dropped,
Basically, it says the effect of this notice is that you, your client, no longer need attend court in respect to these charges, and that bail conditions imposed in regulations have now ceased. If I go on to the second page, it says you have the right to require the discontinuance procedures to be revived. Well, obviously I'm not going to do that. And then in the second bit it says, should you wish to apply for any costs incurred in respect of these proceedings, you may take a written request to the Justice Chief Executive. It is not necessary to apply for these proceedings to be continued in order to apply for your costs.
So you intend to apply for your cost, David?
Yes.
And your cost being?
The 10 million that they agreed.
The 10 million you agreed?
Yeah.
So you've seen it on the TV, what's happened to David, you've asked him, now you can see what, you know, the whole procedure that Dave's used, his claim of right, he's got legal right to travel, is that right? To travel.
I have got a common law right to travel the roads, as it does say in the Queen's Bible. I was not acting in commerce at that time, so they therefore have no jurisdiction.
No jurisdiction over you whatsoever.
No.
So you,
because I am not, working as a function of government.
No, you're not functioning under commerce, working for the government. You've got a free, a common law right to travel. So you didn't need all those documents. They're claiming that you did.
Yeah.
You've rebutted them. You've explained to them your claim of right, how it's all contract law and how it's only about contract. You've stood your ground.
Yeah.
And the subsequent, actions of that is you've been released without charge. We can see from their own letter the whole case has been dropped, and they're saying that you can apply for costs.
Yeah, basically.
So that's it.
Yeah.
So brilliant. Thanks very much. Hope that's clarified a few things for people. If you need any more questions or answers to these, please get in touch with Dave or myself or Debbie or all the other admins or anyone on the site, and just look at the Kent Freedom Movement. Dave, thank you very much.
Thank you, Eddie. Thanks a lot. Cheers.